What's going on, you guys? First off, just want to say thank you for 1K subs. That's awesome. I appreciate y'all. I figured I'd make a tutorial with some useful tips that you can use to win more fights. This video is a little long, so I'll put the times for each specific tip in the description. Some of these techniques are going to take practice, but a few of them are things you can implement immediately. All of them, except for the last one, are applicable to both controller and keyboard and mouse. Okay, let's just jump right into it. So to start this one, rather than going for their wall, you're going to get up on top of the box. You're going to build a ramp on the opposite side of the box. You're going to stand somewhere around the corner. You're going to shoot a rocket at the ramp. When you do this, make sure that you aim at the top half of the ramp. If you shoot the bottom half of the ramp, you're probably going to take damage from the rocket. As soon as you shoot it, pull out blueprints and place a cone and a floor. So it's going to look like this. Okay, now once you've done this, you control these two pieces. You've also blown out these two walls, so 9 times out of 10 they're not going to have any clue what to do. And then from there you just edit and you take your shot. So now I will show you what it looks like from the opponent's view and also a clip of this being done in game. The next tip involves taking your opponent's wall from more than one grid square away. Surprisingly, there are a lot of people that still don't know about this, but it can be very effective and almost always takes your opponent by surprise. I've seen a handful of pros use it in tournaments, but it's probably most effective in creative box PvP, but there are certainly scenarios in an in-game arena match where everybody's tunneling or boxed up where it would work. But if you see right here, like I cannot edit this wall from over one space away with my shotgun out or with my pickaxe out, but I can with my blueprints out. So what you're going to want to do is use the protection of a right hand peek, and like if your opponent's controlling that wall, you shoot the wall, you take the wall, edit the wall, and then from there you can do whatever you want. But like I said, it almost always is going to take your opponent by surprise. They're just not going to be expecting it because you're all the way back here. So I'll show you a couple quick videos of what it looks like from an opponent's point of view. So the third thing I want to teach y'all is how to do infinite, spider, or metro 90s. I really love these. They look great. They use less mats than traditional 90s. They're infinite, so you don't have to worry about jump fatigue. And I actually taught myself to do this because I was having trouble doing metro 90s, the standard ones where you jump on controller, having to move my right finger off thumbstick to press A to jump. And so these are very like controller friendly as well. So out of all of the tips, this will probably be the hardest one to learn. Just because a lot of it is hard to teach. A lot of it is based on feel and building muscle memory. So just keep practicing, you'll get the hang of it. But you're going to want to start it like any other 90 with a ramp. You want to hug this side of the ramp closely. If you don't, you're going to end up like Harry Pottering yourself. It's just not going to work right. But you're going to hug the side of the ramp, you're going to run up, you're going to round off this corner, kind of like that. And as you do that, you're going to place a wall and a wall, just like that. And then you're going to place, as you're still running, remember you always want to keep the movement going. You don't ever want to stop. You're going to build a floor and then another ramp. That's all there is to it. And so you're just going to go here, 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 just like that. Just like that. Okay. Now, when you're first learning it, you can kind of over-exaggerate and look down so that you don't place a floor above your head like that. That's what I would do until you really get the hang of it. Side jumps have become extremely common in Fortnite. I mean, they're a part of almost every high ground retake, and you really need to know how to do them in order to stay competitive and keep up with the skill curve of the player base. Not only that, but really you need to learn and be comfortable with elevated side jumps, because elevated side jumps like 90s give you that extra height boost that you get from placing a floor and a ramp. And so you really need to know how to do these. So I'll teach you that right now. Okay, guys, there are two really important things that you need to focus on when you're working on your elevated side jumps. The first is the angle at which you approach the jump, this angle right here. You don't want to approach it from over here. That's going to be really difficult, especially if you're not on keyboard and mouse and you can't flick your mouse. So you want to come at it at this angle. Like, you want to hug this right here. And then the second thing is don't try to jump from way up here. Like, you do not need to be high up on this ramp to land this jump. Matter of fact, you can jump from like down here and still land it. So play around with it, get comfortable with it, but you want to come from this angle and you want to be honestly further down on the ramp. And if you focus on those two things, this these side jumps become so easy and they're so important. So it'll look just like that right there. For the next tip, I want to talk about tunneling. There are so many different ways to tunnel. I'm actually a relatively low sensitivity player on controller, and so tunneling is somewhat challenging versus someone who plays high sensitivity or someone who's on keyboard and mouse. And so this is the type of tunneling that I've found that I like best. That's going to offer the most protection and again is really easy to do. I mean, you could master this in probably an hour or two tops. So let's say you're starting out and you're boxed up. The way that you're going to do this is you're going to edit out of your box and you're going to place a floor and a floor above and below you and then two walls. Floor and floor, two walls. Floor, floor, two walls, floor, two walls, and you're just going to repeat that. And it's literally all it is just getting the muscle memory built of the motion and the pattern. And once you do that, it's super easy. I love this tunnel. It's so much easier, very candidly, than having to place all four pieces around you and then edit through and continue moving. Again, a low sense player, that can be challenging. This is really effective, and it's super easy once you get the hang of it. I mean, it's so simple, but you're just going to do this. You can always start by placing just like one floor, wall, wall, floor, wall, wall, and get the hang of it that way, and then move on to placing them above and below. So the last thing I want to talk about really quickly is controller settings, more specifically dead zones. Very candidly, my aim has never been one of my strengths, but I was actually playing around with my settings a handful of months ago and ended up lowering my dead zones. And I'm telling you now, if you have not done that, you really need to play around with your dead zone settings. You need to lower them. My short range aim improved dramatically. My tracking with my shotgun, my SMG, it just really helped out with that. And so I'll go in here and I will show you my settings really quickly. I mean, they're nothing crazy. But again, I highly recommend you to lower these two settings right here. Play around with them. I actually play on 9 and 11 a lot as well. I like a little bit of drift on my move stick dead zone. I've actually found out, and you keyboard and mouse players are going to hate this, but it's just true, unfortunately. But I've found that having a little bit of drift on your left stick actually seems to trigger aim assist more. Um, and so, again, just play out with these, find what works best for you. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Thanks.